Does anyone remember Clarence? If you don't know, it's about this young boy named Clarence who goes on adventures with his friends Jeff, a germaphobe, and Sumo, another young boy. All I wanted to talk about is the original version of the first episode in the first season. Let's just begin telling you what happened. I was an ordinary boy living in an ordinary town. I was walking down the street. After eating a spicy burrito at a nearby Mexican restaurant, I was walking through a shortcut in the alley until I noticed a small in one of the garbage bags of the alleyway. I dug through most of the garbage and found something interesting. It was a USB drive. What is this little thing doing in the small alleyway? I questioned. I decided to take it home with me out of curiosity. When I got home, I took a shower and placed the USB drive onto my computer once I dried off. Once I did that, a folder popped by the name of CN Skylar. I knew that I meant by Skylar Page, the creator of the show, Clarence. I opened up and there were only two other files in it. One was a text file and the other was an MP4 file. I read the text file and said this. This is an unreleased episode of the original version of the first Clarence episode, Fun Dungeon Face-Off. This was originally going to be the first episode of the series, but was scrapped due to its disturbing nature and heavy use of blood and gore. Viewer discretion as advised. Blood and gore? I said with a confused tone. I don't remember this episode having blood and gore before, so I shrugged it off thinking it was a prank. There was the MP4 file and it read, Unreleased Fun Dungeon .mp4. Out of curiosity, I clicked on it. Boy, that was the biggest mistake of my life. The episode started off with the original Cartoon Network TV PG warning. It was actually the original TV PG warning of this channel's previous years. Then the episode began with the Clarence intro. It was fun and cheery, and not a single thing was out of place. When I got to the title card of the episode, I was shocked. The title of the episode was written in red, chunky blood instead of ketchup, and among the fries there was blood-stained knife. Then the episode began with Clarence, Jeff, and Sumo going through the riders and even local fast food chain in Eberdale, Clarence's hometown. They were taking their meals, which included Clarence a salad with a shake and some nuggets, Sumo some nuggets, and Jeff a Happy Meal with the ice cream and menu item, with the burger, fries, soda, and a toy. Although he doesn't want the burger, toy, and soda, he only wanting the fries. The three boys then sit at a table enjoyed their meals, which was pretty boring. I noticed that Clarence's mother wasn't with the boys. Like the episode we got, Jeff wanted to go to the bathroom, like the episode where he tells Clarence and Simo not to touch his fries. Clarence and Simo decided to eat some of Jeff's fries, and Clarence was about to reach for the fries, but at the same time, Jeff came back from the restroom. Clarence was holding the fries in his hands, and when Jeff looked at this fries at Clarence's hands, he was also steaming with rage like a bull, about to charge like the bullfighter. Jeff became so mad that his eyes became bloodshot, and he started grinding his teeth, and his skin started to turn red. Almost like how Bruce Banner's skin turns green when he turns into a Hulk. Jeff was hyperventilating, and he bellowed with rage, "My fries!" "Uh-oh, better run," Clarence said with a frightened tone. Jeff began chasing Clarence around the restaurant in a Scooby-Doo manner. I just laughed how comedic the chase was. Then Clarence was concerned. When Jeff finally caught up with Clarence, Jeff was swaying profusely and started taking deep breaths due to the chase. He slowly made his way at the now scared Clarence, and while he did that, he had something that shocked me. He pulled out a knife from his pocket, and I watched in horror seeing him walking towards Clarence with the knife in Jeff's hand. "Jeff, what are you gonna do to me?" Clarence said while stuttering. "This is what happens to people who steal something from me," Jeff said whisperly in a demonic voice. "They die." Jeff then screamed and then smiled as Clarence screamed as Jeff raised the knife in the air. With one swift motion, Jeff started to stab Clarence every spot in his body. Clarence screamed for help, but Jeff was laughing like a crazed psychopath. Blood began covering the floor and Clarence's clothes, not to mention Jeff's clothes. Jeff stopped with his psychotic murder and dropped the knife. He then dragged Clarence's body and trailed blood all over the floor. He then put his dead body on the ground and slowly removed the blood stained off the fries off of Clarence's hand, and then starts dipping the fries fries in the garbage. I watched in horror as Clarence's corpse was just in the garbage. The screen then turned to black and showed Jeff staring onto the camera. He then had Clarence's body that was in the garbage and on the road. And then, on the other hand, the knife that he used to kill Clarence, Jeff started speaking in a psychotic, demonic voice. Steal my fries, and you'll end up like my ex-friend. Jeff began laughing demonically and psychopathically, like a crazed maniac. If I remembered correctly, Clarence's eyes opened in a raspy voice. Help me! And then the episode ended with Jeff laughing on the screen, and then the screen faded to black. The credits weren't the same. The night sky was blood red, and most of the things on the screen were covered in blood or even destroyed. The music was replaced with Jeff's demonic laughter. Then Arabic text appeared on the black screen, translated to, Jeff is watching you. I ended up digging the USB drive in my backyard and cursed the USB had sleep in my schedule and went all haywire. I couldn't believe Skylar Page would make this episode so demented. I should have known that text file was right about blood and gore, and that ruined my childhood. I decided that the best thing to do at this point was to forget about what happened on that hateful day. I was so scared of that episode I wasn't able to eat a single french fry for 5 whole months. If you ever find this USB drive, do not, and I repeat, do not plug it into your computer. I don't know if that demonic Jeff would either be after you or you'll be someone you love in that USB drive. But just to be safe, don't watch that episode, please. And that, my little praise, was Clarence Fun Dungeon Face-Off original version. A Clarence Lost episode, creepypasta written by Affan Jamsari. My final thoughts on this story, cliched. This story was just completely and utterly cliched. And I'm saying this at the most polite way possible. Well, this story, I could definitely say, was just, it was not good, people. I'm being completely honest. Like, we got the blood, we got the gore, we got Jeff sitting there, going all crazy because Clarence touches fries and then he kills Clarence. Like, why Jeff sit there and do that? Why is there a reason why Jeff is sitting there and killing, Clarence just because he touched his fries? There's no reason. Well, I would be kind of upset if someone touched my fries. Yeah, that'd be one thing. But why would you sit there and, have, Jeff sitting there and stabbing Clarence and, oh my god. The episode is just cliched. Oh my god. Well, the first part I could kind of excuse the USB drive part, but another thing I definitely have to say was the whole episode was just cliched. Like, the episode just wasn't that scary. Well, I definitely have to say that, the story was just, oh my god, it was just cliched. That was the one issue, that's the main issue, is that it's just cliched. It's the real reason why the story is the way it is. Like, the credits weren't the same, and, everything's changed. Like, look, I'm not trying to sound rude or anything. I'm just saying that this story actually provided, it just didn't really make sense. And that's the main issue with the story. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, the story was just, it just wasn't that good. That's the main issue. It just wasn't that good. Like, the story was cliched. There was hyper-realistic blood. There was hyper-realistic gore. Oh my goodness. The story just didn't look really good. It just didn't look good. It was garbage. It was not that good. Like, I'm not trying to go against anyone here, but why would it be, this story just went from 1 to 100, and that's the main issue I have to say with this story. Although, the grammar was alright, I'm not gonna lie, the grammar was alright. Might not have been the best grammar, but it was okay. The sentence structure was alright as well. But the story is just, well, the paragraph structure was good too, but the story was just cliched. Like, there was this, why does every Lost episode have to involve blood and gore? Like, I mean, if you're gonna add blood and gore in the story, maybe that would be one thing I definitely would have to say would be kind of believable, as long as you put time and effort into it. But in this matter, no, it just didn't work. That's just the main issue. It just did not work well. Like, I think that could be the reason why. It just didn't work. That's just, the story was just not that great. I'm just being completely and utterly honest. The story was just not great. It was cliched. It was garbage. Like, what? Like, there's no reason of Jeff to sit there and, go all haywire crazy on Clarence and killing him just because he touched his fries. Like, well, I would be mad if someone did, but I wouldn't go this far. Like, why? Like, look, I'm not against anybody here, but this story was just, it just wasn't great. That's the main issue with the story. It just wasn't great. It was cliched. It just didn't work well. And I could definitely say this story was just not that great. Now, what would be better to make the story better is delete it and start over. It's all that I can say. Now, yet again, the main issue with the story is it's just cliched. That's the main issue, is that it's just cliched. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense for Jeff to sit there and, kill, Clarence. There's, obviously no reason at all of why Jeff had sat there and, did this. Like, look, why? Just why? I'm just at a loss of words right now because the story was just garbage and cliched. Like, this is horse crap. That's what I'm going to say. It's horse crap. Now, I'm not trying to insult anyone here. I'm only doing this review is so I can help them get better with their writing. But this story just didn't work. And it just wasn't really good. And didn't sit well for me. That's the main issue with this story. It just didn't sit well for me. But I guess my thing I'm going to say is that the story needs to be a rewrite. A rewrite would definitely help this story, and it would make the story a lot better. Not only that, the story would be a lot more, had a better concept in that. That's the story could be, better, but the story it just didn't sit well with me. That's the main issue of this story. One of them being it's cliched, it just didn't work. And I'm being completely honest. This story just did not work. Now, I guess that's kind of all I have to say. Now, if I had to say another thing I really don't like, I would kind of have to say was the level of, gore and all that. It's just not necessary for this story. Like, sure, maybe Jeff might be going, nuts just because his, fries were taken or touched by Clarence, but I can't see Jeff sitting there and doing that. I honestly cannot see Jeff sitting there and doing that. I obviously can't. That's the main issue I have to say, is that it's just messed up. It just wasn't really that great. That's the main issue. But I guess I'm going to wrap up the review here because I kind of already explained the issues. And, like I'm going to sit here and say right now, and like I always continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas. This is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be, I'm going to be nice and give this one a 1 out of 10. Only giving this a 1 is because the grammar was alright, and same thing with the sentence structuring and the paragraph structure was good. But there was also a couple grammatical errors in the story that kind of made me stutter because of that. And the story was just cliched and it didn't make sense and it didn't sit well with me. That's the main issue I have to say about this story. But other than that, the story was just not that great. Although, if you like the story, I respect your opinion. If you don't like it, I don't blame you either. Now, anyways, with that being the case, that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Do not forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload. Be sure you don't forget to ring the bell for notification if you're new to my channel and subscribe. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.